Right, boys and girls, it's Friday, the end of the week, and I'm going to read the story to you. It's called The Wrong Bus. It's about a brother and a sister, Colin and Sue, who were taught a very scary lesson because they forgot their manners. So let's start. Colin and Sue had gone to visit their Aunt Phyllis. She had given them a lovely time and then sent them off to catch the bus. "You know which corner to wait at, don't you?" she said. "The one by the big oak tree at the end of the winding lane. It always stops there." The children set off to catch the bus. Aunt Phyllis lived down in the country, and they loved the little winding lanes, the tall hedges and the buttercup fields that lay all around. "Is this the right lane we've turned down?" asked Sue suddenly. "I don't seem to remember that stile over there." "Well, there's a big oak tree. Look at the end of it," said Colin. "It must be all right. Let's stand here and wait." There was a wooden seat at the end of the lane. On it, several people were sitting. The children stared at them, rather surprised, for they looked a little peculiar. There was an old man wearing a red hat with a long yellow feather in it. There were two old women, one with a brightly coloured parrot on her shoulder, and the other carrying a black cat with eyes as green as unripe apples. There was a young woman with a baby. The baby was the prettiest little thing the children had ever seen, but it had rather queer ears that stuck out at each side of its little blue bonnet. They were pointed and rather long. The little thing was holding a rattle that rang a dear little tune. The bus came along just then. The people got up to get in. It was a very gay-looking bus, with red wheels, blue sides, and a yellow top. Colin and Sue did not wait till the people who wanted to get out had stepped onto the road. They pushed their way onto the bus in front of everyone, elbowing the old man aside as they did so. "What bad manners," said the old man. But Colin and Sue didn't care. They got onto the bus, and that was all that mattered to them. They sat down. The bus was rather full. There was no room for one of the old women, and she stood in the gangway holding onto the rail. "Hey, boy, you get up and give this old woman your seat," said the old man. "Don't you know your manners? Isn't your heart kind enough to pity an old dame who's been marketing and is tired out?" "I shall pay for my seat, and I expect to sit in it," said Colin rudely. He always saw to it that he had the best of whatever was going. He wasn't going to get up and give anyone his seat, not he. Someone got out just then, and the old lady sank down into the seat with a sigh. Another woman got in, carrying a small child. She stood in the gangway. The old woman poked Sue in the back. "Get up and offer your seat," she said. "You can't sit there and see somebody standing, carrying a heavy child." "Why don't you get up?" said Sue cheekily. "What terrible children," said the old woman. Her black cat suddenly put out its paw and scratched Sue's hand. She gave a scream and hit the cat hard. It scratched her again at once. "Even my cat thinks you're a bad child," said the old woman. "Sooty never scratches anyone unless they are horrid." The baby in front of Colin dropped its rattle. Colin saw it drop, but he didn't pick it up. He just sat there looking in front of him. "Pick up my baby's rattle, please," said the young woman to Colin. I can't very well bend down with a baby on my knee." Colin took no notice. He wasn't going to pick up a baby's rattle. "What an unpleasant boy," said the old man, and picked up the rattle himself. As he bent down, something fell out of his pocket. He didn't notice it, but Colin did. It was a small leather purse. Colin put his foot on it at once, and then, pretending to drop his handkerchief, he bent down and picked up the purse. He was just putting it into his pocket when the old woman's parrot called out loudly, "He's a thief! He's a thief! He's a thief!" Everyone began to look at everyone else. Who was a thief? The old man saw Colin's face turning red. He put his hand into his pocket and found that his purse was gone. "Have you got my purse?" he cried. "Yes, you have, you bad boy. You must have picked it up. Give it back to me at once." Colin looked sulkily. "I haven't got your purse," he said. "He's telling stories. He's telling stories," said the annoying parrot and squawked loudly. The conductor came up. He slipped his hand into Colin's pocket and took out the purse. Everyone gasped in horror. "These children are not only bad-mannered, they are dishonest and untruthful and unkind," said the old man, shocked. "Their mother and father must be simply terrible," said the old woman with the cat. "Yes, they must have taught their children all the wrong things," said the old man, shaking his head. "Very, very sad. They look quite nice children, but they're not. They're not. I think we had better take them to the wise woman," said the old woman with the parrot. "She might be able to take away their bad father and mother and give them new ones who would teach them kindness and good manners and honesty. Parents are no use unless they do that." "My mother is very good and sweet," cried Sue. "Don't you dare say anything against her." "And my father's a very busy doctor who helps a lot of people, so don't you dare to say he's bad," shouted Colin, feeling suddenly afraid. These people in the bus were queer. Had he and Sue taken the wrong bus? "We can't believe you," said the old man. "If you had good parents who taught you the right things, you would behave well. You would have good manners. You would be kind. But you are really horrid children. And we have always noticed that horrid children usually have horrid parents," said the old woman with the parrot. The parrot nodded its head violently. "How could you be a thief if your parents were honest?" said the old man. "You must have copied them. How could you be untruthful if they were truthful? Children always copy their father and mother. We know exactly what the fathers and mothers are like when we see their children." "I tell you, my father is kind and honest and everyone loves him," said Colin, scared. "And my mother has the best manners of anyone I know," wept Sue. She has. "Can't believe it," said the old man. "It's quite impossible. Your mother must be just like you. I expect she would push her way onto the bus out of her turn and get a seat before anyone else and let old men and women stand, and she would steal someone's purse and—" "Oh, how unkind of you to say such things," sobbed Sue, thinking of her kind, gentle mother. "Mummy isn't like that. She isn't. She's always kind." "We'd better go to the wise woman and look up the names of these children's parents and see if any chance what they say is true," said the old man. "Conductor, will you stop the bus at the wise woman's cottage, please?" Half a minute later, the bell rang and the bus stopped. Out got everyone, even the cat. They made their way to a queer little tumble-down cottage nearby, pushing the two scared children in front of them. "We took the wrong bus," whispered Colin to Sue. "Goodness knows who these people are or where we've come to." The wise woman was a wonderful person. She was old, but she had a very young face. She was dressed in a long robe of purest blue, like the summer sky outside. There was something queer about this dress, for it shifted and shone like mist. The old man explained what they had come for. The wise woman turned her eyes onto the two children. "I see badness and unkindness in them," she said in a voice that sounded like murmuring of waves. "Their hearts are hard. Yes, I think we must change their parents and give them better ones. No child can grow up right if it has bad parents who spoil it or make it unkind and untrustworthy." She took up a long silver staff and began to point it, first at Sue and then at Colin. "What are you doing?" cried Colin in alarm. "We don't want new parents. We love ours. They are good and kind." "Perhaps I had better make sure that these children's parents are bad," said the wise woman, and she took up a round mirror. She looked deeply into it. Colin tried to peep into it too, but instead of his own face, all he could see was a swirling mist. The wise woman was silent for a few minutes. Everyone waited patiently. Sue began to tremble. How dreadful if their bad behavior lost them their father and mother. She didn't want new ones. "Now this is a strange thing," said the wise woman, putting down her mirror. "These children have told the truth about their father and mother. They are kind, good parents, but they are too gentle and too trustful. They believe that their children are honest and sweet and kind, and because the children are deceitful and only behave badly when they are away from home, their parents have no idea what bad manners and hard hearts they really have." "Bad children come from bad parents," said the old man obstinately. "We've always known that. Look at a child, watch the way he behaves, and you know what kind of mother he's got." "That's right," said the old woman with the parrot. "When I see a child with no manners, I say, his mother doesn't have any either, so he hasn't been taught. Wise woman, change these children's parents. They must be bad, whatever your mirror says." Sue began to sob loudly. Colin went very pale. "Please, please," he said, "give us another chance. I know that a bad father and mother do make bad children, but this time it's we who are wrong. We wouldn't learn. We've got good parents, really we have, but we've let them down. We behave as if we've got bad ones." "But we won't again," said Sue, wiping her eyes. "We never thought that people judged our parents by the way we behaved. If I'd known you were thinking that our father and mother were so bad, I'd have behaved better. But I will now, if you give us a chance." "I always give people chances," said the wise woman, looking at the children with her deep, clear eyes. "You too shall have your chance. Catch the next bus home, the right one this time. You caught the wrong bus before, but if you've learned a lesson from me and all these people, it will not matter. Now go." The children fled away at once. They saw a bus rumbling down the street. It stopped nearby and they jumped on it. They looked round. Yes, the people looked quite ordinary this time. There were no black cats, no talkative parrots, no babies with pointed ears. At the next stop, an old lady got in. At once, Colin stood up and offered her his seat. She sat down gratefully. "What a nice-mannered child," she said to her neighbour. "He's got a good mother, no doubt about that." What a strange adventure, wasn't it? I wonder what people think your father and mother are like when they watch how you behave. Think for a minute and you'll know. And I know. Because in class, when I give out papers or somebody sneezes, we have thank yous and bless yous and good mornings. And so I know that your moms and dads have done a wonderful job and that we have grade ones with good manners. And let's hope that you never catch the wrong bus and have to be taught a lesson about your manners.